Right, hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're out on the golf course and we are talking strategy. 5 things you need to do on the golf course to make sure you're not wasting shots and you're getting better scores. Let's take a look at them right now. So I'm going to give you 5 strategy tips, starting at the tee, working all the way down to the green, covering each area and seeing that we're not wasting those shots. Because when I go out with my students, sometimes the shots and the choices that they're hitting, I do think that they could save a lot more shots just by understanding a few more little things and trying to make better decisions out on the golf course. So starting here, we're on the beautiful 4th hole at Warrington Golf Club, probably my favourite hole on the golf course, and right in front of me straight away I've got a pond here that carries for about 60 to 50 yards, then we get up onto the rough, then the fairway starts at about 120 yards, and then from there we've got a bunker that is at 230 yards on the left hand side of the fairway, and then starting at about 215 down the right hand side, running up pretty much the majority of the hole to the green, we then have a water hazard. So the first strategy tip I want you to make is knowing your miss off the tee. Because what I would see from a lot of my students here, they would look at the hole and think, right, there we go, there's the fairway, I'm going to aim at the middle of the fairway, knowing that they are a big slicer of the golf ball and that they hit their driver roughly about 220 yards to 230 yards. So straight away that brings in that water on the right hand side. For me, I'm a fader of the golf ball, so my miss is going to be the big right one. If I get stuck inside, I generally would block it out to the right. So the left-hand side of the course is probably where I would try to start my golf ball a little bit. So when I now look down there, I now know that that bunker is 230. So instead of me taking the driver here, just get rid of George and popping him down, thinking I'm going to give this a good launch down there. The fairway seems pretty wide. I'm now going to take a club, and I wouldn't go down to 3-wood because the difference between distance in 3-wood and driver when I'm hitting these, you'll probably find that it's not actually that much different out on the golf course. What I'm going to do is take a club that I now know will get short of the bunker, and also I know that I hit pretty straight and will give me a good opportunity to hit that fairway. So for me, I'll go for Brian because I know at maximum I hit this 220 yards. The wind's a little bit into my face, so it's going to take a few yards off that as well, and then from there I should be in a position where I hit the fairway. Like I say, my miss is right as well, so I'm going to aim at the bunker knowing I'm never going to hit it 230 with my 4-iron. It gives me room to fade it back into the middle of the fairway, and if I do have the right hand miss, I'm not going to get into that water hazard. So let's give that a go and see if we can get safely on the fairway. Well, that is a great start to the morning. Straight down the middle of the fairway, nowhere near a hazard. Know your big miss is strategy number 5. So safely on the fairway. You can see just over here we've got the bunker that's at 230 starting, and just over there is the water. Managed to find the fairway. It's gone about 215 in total, so by knowing my big miss and picking a club that if I did get out into that direction of either of the hazards, I wouldn't have hit them with this club. So the 4th strategy tip that we've got to do, what we've got to understand is that 70% and above sometimes of shots into the green are short of the flag. So at the moment I've got the flag sitting at 145 yards, 150 yards, sorry, from where I am. The back of the green is 160 and the front of the green is 130 yards. So what I've got to understand now is that I've got 20 yards from the front of the green to the pin. I've then got another 5 yards in that. So if I were to just play towards the green and I went for the front of it, I'm going to be short. So we've got to pick a club that we know is going to get there. And what we've also got to equate for is our miss strikes, because like I say, that flag's 150 yards at the moment. I'm not going to strike it perfectly every time out of the middle. I'm going to toe it, I'm going to heel it, I might catch the ground a little bit before the golf ball, I might thin it, so it's not going to be the perfect golf shot. And one of the problems I see is that when people are picking a club to hit into a green, they're thinking perfect shot every time. So they think that this 150 club, that whatever your 150 club, let's call it a 7-iron, goes 150 every single time. But if you actually averaged it out, it might actually only be going 140. So we've got to take something that, if I do hit it perfectly, I might go slightly beyond the flag, maybe 5 yards, because that's all I've got beyond the flag. If I don't quite catch it, I may only fall 5 yards short of it, not giving me a club that if I hit my Sunday best, it falls on the flag, and if I don't quite get it, I'm 10, 15, 20 yards short. We want to pick that club that's going to get us up there. So like I said on the tee, it's into wind, it's 150 yards to that flag, so it's going to play 160, and the wind's actually picking up a little bit as I'm speaking here, so I'm going to play this as if it's 165. So I'm going to take a 7-iron and I'm going to take an inch off the grip, because this normally for me flies 167. So if I just go down the grip and play a bit more of a low flighted shot, this should get me back to the flag all the way there. So pick my target, little bit pushy. Okay, so I've not hit the green, it's hit the back corner of the green and rolled off down the back, but it was enough to get me up to the flag. I've not left myself drastically short. So our third strategy mistake, when we get ourselves up too near the green, and we're talking chipping and pitching now, are you good enough to hit the wonder shot? Because what I would see here from a lot of my students, and this happened on this green last week when I was playing with a couple of friends, down on the other side there's a big valley and the pin was very close to the side, and he was trying to play a beautiful cut-up shot that if it came off, it would have looked fantastic. But unfortunately, there was 2 more shots down in the Valley of Sin there because he was trying to do too much. So for me here now, I'm in some quite heavy rough. I've then got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paces to the start of the green. And then I've only got 2 more paces till I get to the flag. But beyond that, I've got about 15 paces before I fall off. Now, what a lot of us was trying to do was think, oh no, I've missed the green, I've got to get it as close as possible. But that's not the case. If we've got a handicap of say 18, your skill level probably doesn't warrant that you should be making these great up and downs. You've got the opportunity to hit the chip on, 2 putt, take your bogey, use your shot, make par. If you get it up and down, fantastic. But what we want to try and do here is not try and be too heroic, be too cute. We want to try and pick a spot. Yes, we want to get it near the flag, but if we can get it to land somewhere near the flag and then give it maybe 4 or 5 pieces that it can run on by, we've got a chance of holding that putt. If I'm trying to play too cute and I end up duffing it 1 pace in front of me and still in the rough, or not even getting it onto the green and I'm still in that fringe grass, that putt's going to be harder than a 10-foot putt on the green. So when we are chipping, and our strategy, even if you were going over a bunker, let's say, and there's an easier route to the green that you feel more confident with, are you good enough to go at the stick? Is it the right move? Are you comfortable to go at the stick? Ask yourself those questions. Then give yourself a perimeter around the flag that you feel that you can comfortably chip it into. If it's a 2-foot one and you don't feel comfortable, don't do it. Go and chip a little bit further beyond instead of duffing it and then having the same chip again and feeling frustrated. So for me, I'm going to try and land this a foot in front of the hole, and if it runs by, fantastic. If it stops, great. Oof, nearly dunked it. But there now, it's gone about 15 feet by, and I've got a chance of holding the putt. So we're down to number 2 on the strategy list. We're on the green and we're talking short putts. I can think we can all probably recant in our mind 10, 15, 20 times we've missed putts of this length and thought, God, if only I would have held that putt on the 4th, if I would have made that putt on the 18th, I would have shot my best score, or I would have, you know, lots of would-haves. If we can start to hold these putts, these are the real momentum builders. These are the ones that you get them in, you stride into the next tee, you're feeling confident, and you hit a great drive down the middle of the next fairway. It keeps the scorecard rolling, and it's the one, like I say, that really boosts that confidence in us. And when we watch the guys on tour, it is that we see a lot of them hold. Now, I think first things first, we've got to temper our expectations. Generally, when we see them on TV, they are holding them, but I'll put the stats up here now to show you what a 6-foot putt percentage is. I think it's somewhere around 70%. So people do miss them on tour. Just get that in our heads. They don't hold every single putt. But how do they hold them? So what they start to do, they have an air of confidence as they're over the golf ball. And what they've done and how they've achieved that, is by going through a little bit of a plan. On the greens, let's say here in England that I'm playing on, there's not much break. So what I wouldn't try and do is go looking for loads of break. We've got to try and see that probably from 6 foot and in, unless you're playing on super undulating greens, you're never really going to need to hit the ball outside of the cup. So I see people when I take them out on the golf course, they're looking for break. They're trying to find something as if it's, I should be hitting it 2 or 3 out of the centre, but you don't need to. If it's inside that 6 foot, we need to start aiming a little bit more at the cup. If we hit it with a tiny bit more pace as well, we're going to see that it should hold its line. And how we're going to do this, so when we're reading our putts, pay attention. Give it some attention as we come behind. Have a read of it, don't just walk up to it and hit it. We're going to go in, we're going to take our golf ball, and what I want everyone to do, whether you start using a line on the golf ball, that's totally up to you. If you don't feel comfortable with you, that's fine. But what I want you to do is start to pick something about 1 foot to 2 feet down the line. So we would have our end target being the hole, and then we would have our ball, and if we were to draw a line back down here, about 1 foot or 2 foot down that line, I want you to pick a starting line, because if we can then align our putter, alignment aid on the putter, the white line that we've got here, and we can get everything looking at that, and I focus on starting it over my starting point now, I can start to actually hold some more of these putts. So instead of just giving it a go and trying to look for too much break, let's get a starting line, let's build a good alignment, and then from there we've got confidence that we can hit a good putt and knock it in. A bit like that one. And the number one strategy plan I want you to do, and everyone, no matter your level of golf, can do this, is enjoy it. Is get out there and have some fun. It is a game at the end of the day. We play it with our friends, we play it for enjoyment, so do just that. Myself, I look back on some of my rounds when I used to be a real hothead and a psycho, and I think, God, what are you doing? Just get out here. And now I love playing golf with my mates, potentially because I'm not playing competitions anymore, but get out there, enjoy it, accept that you're going to have some bad luck out there, but you're also going to get some good luck. So if you can go into your round of golf looking forward to it, enjoying each shot and being present in the moment, we're going to see that probably those 4 things I've talked about, you have a lot more ease in doing. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. There's 5 strategy mistakes there for you. Go back through them, check that you're doing all of these out on the golf course. If you're not, start doing them now. Thanks for watching this video. As always, do hit the subscribe button down below. It's totally free to do, and you're going to get loads more golf lessons to help you improve your golf. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.